the first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Meno kasa de se ukopie mu ewo mrahye bedwafia enye asem kotwa ni nyina yewura Haruna Idrisu a yebekai a Monday no na ode ba betu edwa se ne bon ekokopie mu ewo parliament a ono de krata ebekwa akoma Abansema na Kingsford Babin na MPs bi oho ayetimi ehwan won nase akonwa ne declare won seat ni vacant because one and deserve say one ebeye MPs NPP amanyokuo no MPs eye 3 ena NDC amanyokuo no baako because o study Ghana emra no etre no untimi enye MP in the name of a political party na untimi ensan enko independent yesa etia Ghana mra enti ono e de krata ekokoma Abansema na Kingsford Babin ne bekaya Afenyo Markin edinka atabiri asem no ede akwa akopie mu ewo Supreme Court for interpretation na afei na edu su se one discuss asem no na afei yentimi crown control Alexander Afenyo Markin yenko tie.
If it pleases you, I shall proceed to respond to the submissions of my respected colleague, the minority leader. First of all, he argues that there is a precedence in the matter he has raised, and the presidential value of it is what he wants you to give effect to. In his own narration, he also argues that the political party which the member then belonged to petitioned the speaker. And based on the petition, the speaker took a decision. Before this house, no political party, if you keep quiet to listen, we listen to him in silence. This is a serious legal matter. Mr. Speaker, his argument is a political party wrote that its member has vacated his seat. And on the basis of that, an action was taken. That set of facts are completely different from what he's trying to force on us. There is no such petition from any political party, be it his own political party or our political party. So I just want him to understand that that argument has no leg to stand on. It falls flat. It sits on stilts. That is a preliminary matter. That's a preliminary matter, which he got it wrong, and he wants to mislead Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I haven't addressed that. He says that he comes before you under Order 93. Order 93. 93. And 93, all he says, and I quote, "By the indulgence of the House and the leave of Mr. Speaker, a member may explain a matter of personal nature or make a statement on a matter of urgent public importance at the time appointed for the statement under Order 67. With the greatest respect, Honorable Minority Leader, if you want to invoke the rule, invoke it rightly. What you are trying to do by inviting Mr. Speaker to make a ruling has to do with a statement. The provision does not clothe you with that power to make that application, and that you should get it. Mr. Speaker, the provision that you quoted, you got it completely wrong. You got your rule wrong, and you should know this. Mr. Speaker, I don't know why he was taking the wind out of the sail of the Honorable Haruna Idrisu. Mr. Speaker, this morning, the respected former leader of this House, former minority leader, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, filed a petition before you on notice. The petition he filed, he served him a copy, and I have a copy with me. The admissibility of the petition is entirely in the hands of Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, the petition is titled, Notice of Petition to You to Declare Vacant Seats for 4 constituencies. Honorable Haruna says, I wish to notify you under Order 99 of Standing Orders of Parliament on the need for you to declare a vacant seat of the following constituencies. 1, Aguna West. 2, Suhum. 3, Amenfi Central. And 4, Fomena. He goes on to say, quote, I will be doing so under Order 18 of the Standing Orders of Parliament. Vacancy other than resignation of Article 97(1)(b) to E, G, and H of the Constitution. Mr. Idrisu concludes by saying, the Speaker shall inform the House of the occurrence of vacancy of the seat of a member under Clause 1B, 2E, G, and H of Article 97 of the 1992 Constitution, duly submitted, dated 15th October 2024. Mr. Speaker, the minority is in disarray. In one breath, a member is petitioning you, and in another breath, somebody else having the position of minority leader is also invoking Order 93. Which is which? Mr. Speaker, they are in total confusion as to this mischief they want to invite on this floor. Mr. Speaker, let me remind them that per your ruling, Mr. Speaker, per your ruling in the Adwa Safo case, dated October 26, 2022. Mr. Speaker, this is what you had to say in the Hansard of 26 October 2022, 4th series, volume 117, number 2. And you use these veritable words to express your view. And quote, column 3 of the said ruling. The decision on whether or not a seat is vacant is one that must be carefully considered, and for which our Constitution and courts, as well as all the rules and best practices of other parliaments, have provided significant guidance. Our job as a House will not be to usurp the functions of any arm of government, but simply apply the law faithfully and in accordance with the dictates of the 1992 Constitution. In view of the antecedents of the objection raised by the Honorable Majority Leader, it is necessary to recount the facts of the matter before us from its inception up to and concluding the stage it has reached before the House. Mr. Speaker, it went on and on and on, where the issue of proper procedure in determining the Adwa Safo case was espoused by you. Mr. Speaker, having put out all these facts, let me concede that this is a serious constitutional matter. Let me concede that this is a serious constitutional matter which has different views being expressed. I am a practitioner of the law and a student of the law. Having come across this controversy, and for the sake of posterity, I have initiated, Mr. Speaker, an action at the Supreme Court. Would you remain quiet for me to argue? I listened to him in silence. Would you remain quiet? That is democracy. You must remain silent and listen to me. you would have to be quiet and listen to me, and you will listen to me, and you will listen to me. You will listen to me. Yeah, you will listen to me. This is a legal argument. This is a legal argument. You have to listen. This is a legal argument. You must listen. Mr. Speaker, I have invoked the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court to aid us. And this is in accordance with your own ruling, that these are matters that we need the courts to come in. Mr. Speaker, this process has been duly filed. I have the writ with me. Not only the writ, it's not a naked writ, it's not a lame writ, Mr. Speaker. I also have accompanying the writ a motion on notice for interlocutory injunction, which is also attached to it. The process, Mr. Speaker, has been duly served on Parliament, as I'm made to believe. Mr. Speaker, I am of the view that this is not a matter that anybody can just get up and say that by virtue of a member filing a process to say that I am going to contest in a future election as an independent candidate, automatically I have lost a seat. Mr. Speaker, let me take members back to memory lane. In the 1960s, the First Republic, where, Mr. Speaker, there was cross-carpeting in Parliament, 69 Constitution and 79 Constitution safeguarded the process where political parties were to be protected. And 1992 Constitution also adopted that provision. Mr. Speaker, it is therefore important for members to understand that practically you cannot say that once a member belongs to a caucus and has not resigned his membership of the caucus, the mere fact that he has filed to participate in future elections and a different ticket is caught by a certain provision of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, I hold my view. I've heard other views contrary to this. That is the more reason why we require patience for this matter to be properly determined by the courts. We require patience for this matter to be properly determined. Somebody cannot say that, oh, there is a certain precedence. So relying on that precedence under Order 93, Mr. Speaker should just make a declaration. Mr. Speaker, this application, so-called, is leading you into a certain valley of confusion. It's a trap being set for Mr. Speaker for his long years in legal practice. Yes, because you simply want Mr. Speaker to make a declaration which will have far-reaching consequences. In any event, a man must be heard. The rule, all the ultram partem rule, the rule is clear. A man cannot be brought to judgment unless he's been heard. If you claim, then it was bad law. If that is what you want to say, that's what you want to say. It was, would you keep quiet for me to argue? Mr. Speaker, I need to be protected from this stubborn minority chief whip. Kwame Agboja has been a very stubborn minority chief whip. Yes. A man must be heard. It doesn't matter. You've been there before. Mr. Speaker, a man must be heard. The individuals whose matter is being raised are not in this chamber. They are not here. And your party member, your party has no petition. Have you, as General Secretary, written any petition that you've sacked him? And then he's not here. Even if there's a letter from the General Secretary that Honorable Aka has been sacked from NDC, he has to be heard. He has to be heard. A man must be heard. the rule is that if all men find a man's hand in a till, his guilt must still be proven. You cannot just get up and say, Mr. Speaker should make a declaration, declare somebody's.
But it's good for democracy. I mean, we are still growing, and there are gray areas. The Constitution is a political document, and a political document which is a living document. It's not to be seen as some static document that must not be given life. So when these issues come up, it helps us to now give effect to what the law envisages. So I do not begrudge Honorable Haruna for bringing this matter up. I'm sure an opportunity will come for us to have a bite on the floor, but an injunction application pens. So I leave that one to Mr. Speaker to take a decision on it. But I think that a court's involvement in this will help. And I am fortified by Mr. Speaker's decision in the Adjustable case. You know, when the Adjustable case arose, Mr. Speaker said declaring seats vacant should not be matters to be taken lightly. It involves critical thinking, it involves processes, and involves the courts as well. Of course, people have been referring to Speaker Okwe's ruling and in the Formina matters and all that, you know, but it is what it is. I mean, if Speaker Okwe made a ruling so motu on a matter, that ruling was not a court pronouncement, but that's a Speaker's ruling. I am of the view that the matter was not tested at the time in the courts. This is the first time that this matter is being tested. So I would not want to go into the Speaker Okwe ruling. I would want to rely on the steps I've taken and pray that the Supreme Court gives us a clear pathway